Nice to sit down with you guys today.
You as well, thank you.
It's almost that time, the last episode here for season 2.
Yep.
How do you guys feel? What's your feelings
right
based
now,
on?
I feel like I'm in Star Trek.
Yeah. Da, 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 da.
It's a
We're in
very
space. Can we VFX some like stars at these windows?
Absolutely.
It's good that we're finally. Obviously, it's like the culmination of the season, and a lot's happened this season, and
A lot.
a lot, and yeah, it's just we're obviously really thankful that the fans have stuck around this whole season, and they get to see it all pay off tomorrow. It's a big episode. It's emotional. It's action packed, as any great finale should be. And
Yeah, and it was nice for us today. The whole pack got back together again after we haven't seen each other all together really since filming with the witches and our producers,
even filming,
our
we're
writers.
rarely all together in one room.
Yeah, so it was kind of like we were all a little giddy today doing press together, and it was nice. And we developed stronger bonds and relationships this season with one another and the new cast as well.
We're not sick of each other.
We're not sick of each other yet.
Wow.
Yet. And we're going axe throwing after this as a cast with the producers and some of the crew, which should be fun.
Yeah.
This season was great, and we hope for more.
By the way, that just sounds like the most random thing. Oh, we're going axe throwing. But apparently it's a thing. Like, there's a couple clubs in Toronto that they do this. That's what they do. Like, we're not just going...
Naturally.
We're not just going out on the street.
We're going to the forest to throw some axes. Bitten style.
Maybe a few beers,
Exactly,
yeah.
yeah. It's safe. It's safe.
I have a feeling you and Greg will be the best at it.
I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm going to win. I grew up chopping firewood.
Is there
throwing
like
axes.
a winning element? Is this like a team thing?
I think there must be some sort of structure. I don't think we're just throwing, axes. Anyway,
Is the trick to see how far through the target you can get the axe to go?
I think it's accuracy. I don't think it's like as hard as you can throw it, but I was thinking...
You may win if it's through the target, I don't know.
It'd be fun if we had watermelons, though. I was thinking we should get some watermelons, or some melons, any kind of melon. Watermelon would be the best. And just to watch it explode would be great. Right?
Yeah.
Total girl stuff.
Oh yeah, totally.
No, we should get some pictures of X's.
Yes.
I'm not resentful of any X's, but I'm sure you have a couple. No, that's like I just know. Like I know.
Anyways.
I don't date. I've been with my girlfriend for a while.
He's a happy little man.
Yeah.
Not
Nice.
little, but he's a happy man.
This has gotten very personal.
He's a little guy.
So, I mean, talking about the last episode, there's a lot of things still going around with Alistair and his evil plans. Can you tell me a little bit, explain to us the Undoing? I think it'd be nice to get a little sound
I don't
bite.
know if we can.
No?
That's the thing.
Yeah, that whole world we've opened up is like, it's very complex, and the Undoing is... What is the Undoing?
The Undoing is I mean, at this point, everybody knows Alistair is Ruth's son,
Right.
and the only male witch, and his goal is to annihilate the witches. So the Undoing is his process of undoing the existence of all female witches, and
But in the process, it also affects all creatures in the realm, like all supernatural beings, werewolves included. So what Alistair does doesn't only affect the witches, it affects the whole world,
Right.
Our world.
And in the finale, you find out how it all comes together, and the timing of everything, and what the implications are.
Yeah. And the clock's really ticking in our finale too. It's really is like down to like, we have to get this solved by midnight.
Right.
No, by sunrise.
Sunrise.
So it's intense and edge of your seat in that sense. Like there's an ultimatum. There's a time I've got to get shit done by.
And if you were to not succeed... Oh, sorry, what was that?
He swore.
Well, if you were to not succeed, there was a choice to be made that you guys might have to even decide what form you wanted to stay in.
That's right, yeah.
Pretty big decision, considering, the odds here of, human versus wolf.
Yeah.
I mean, we could still try to be together if that happened, I guess.
I guess it'd be more of a pet. Or you'd get into bestiality or something.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite sweet, though, that, the offering of that some of the characters would choose to both be in wolf form versus, something else
Right,
that
yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we go down together.
Sacrifice,
Yeah.
Nice.
Isn't that what it's all about, sacrifice?
Well, that brings me to the question of Elena and Clay, the relationship this season, it's been fraught with troubles and things, but, where do you guys think it is at this point? What's the status of that relationship?
We're solid.
At
I
this
mean,
point, yeah.
it's like our relationship, Clay and Elena as a couple, as a unit, as a love group, the two of us, our little two-person love group. Like that's solid. That's in stone now. I think we dealt with that at the end of season 1. But it's still there's still a lot of stuff that's going to test our relationship, like any relationships tested, you know, in the real world and in our world. We just have witches instead of what I don't know what the equivalent would be in real life.
I don't know.
Crazy exes, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I like the whole thing where Alistair was kind of pushing things, almost trying to break you two apart in a way. At one point, and what two episodes ago, I guess it was. I thought that was kind of an interesting play on what could happen, and I was speaking to him about how you guys had to kind of talk a little bit about how you would kind of play being controlled by Alistair.
Yeah, that was a fun. I remember
Clay.
when I found out about that episode, I was so excited. Obviously, as an actor, that's like what a fun challenge to take on. You know, I could play 2 characters in the same show, in the same episode, and not just 2 characters, like it's kind of the hero and kind of like the anti-hero, the antagonist. So like to step into my skin as him was like, it was a really fun challenge, and we talked quite a bit about some of his just his movement, and like I got him actually
all that down, like your face and everything that you were doing reflected him.
Yeah, it was fun, and like I hadn't really, because during filming you don't really see much, right? So it's not like I had much access to footage of him. I just kind of, you know, at table reads I'd kind of take note of his cadence and, you know, how he would speak and his mannerisms, and then I also I had him record all of my lines just to hear how he would say them, and then obviously he's hiding the fact that it's him in my body, so it's not like you can give it away, right? There's a fine line of like, you know, showing too much. Like if I show too much Alistair, it makes the pack look like idiots. Like, how do you not know it's Clay, right? But if it's not enough, then it's just like, you know, it doesn't show through enough. So, but
You found the balance.
Yay, good.
Whew. What was your big challenge this season? What do you think was the most, the hardest thing to get across?
I mean, the big change for Elena was accepting her fate and her inner wolf. And season 1, she's so torn between the 2 worlds, between Philip and Clay and New York. And, you know, this season she's very much driven and motivated by violence and revenge. And it's she's an assassin. She's a killing machine this season, and she's not apologizing for it. And that was a bit of a transition for me, which was very much welcomed to the first season. It's nice for, you know, an actor to play conflict, but this season she just went for it, which was great. And then there's a bit of the motherly quality that she had with Savannah, and that was new to myself and to the audience. I think I've played a mom once before, and that was very strange. But in this case, it was more like a big sister motherly thing, and it was nice for the audience to see, I think, the softer side.
Right.
That was
important balance, basically, for a character who sometimes rips people's throats out.
Sometimes. I mean, more often than not this season. Sometimes tongues, but yeah.
There was some good gore this season, we'll say that for sure.
Yeah, there was.
Do you guys, personally, I mean, because we saw the witches come into it this season, personally as people, what do you think of witches and witchcraft and that idea? What's your stance? Yeah?
I love it. I was obsessed with the Salem witch trials in high school and junior high.
Right.
Still am. So I completely am into that sort of thing. I did a project in high school on the Salem witch trials and did a whole play along with my project and put things under everyone's desks, and I said, you know, if there's something under your desk, you were chosen as a witch, and that's how simple it was during the trials, and now you have to be hung, and just so into it. So I'm happy.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting point of history and sad part. Obviously, it's crazy what many people burn for. I'm like like Mr. Science, Mr. Atheist, practical. I need to see it to believe it. So I don't believe in it per se, but
I like to believe in everything.
the imagery's cool though, man.
Yeah.
Sure added to the show.
Yeah, different quality.
Eggs that you can break that have people's body parts
That
in
was
them or anything.
gross.
That was great.
That turned out
It's the
really
hair
well.
that makes it gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Broke perfectly.
Any little tease you can give us for the last episode? Any little moment or thing that you can hint at?
I would say that there is someone. Shoot, I don't know.
Say that scene. There's a very intense scene between
us. It's it'll probably have people crying.
It might scare people.
Yeah.
And
I hope it has people crying.
there's a lot of moving parts to the finale.
It was a big episode. There was a lot to undertake. There's tons of action. The whole cast is in this episode. Everyone's featured at some point in this episode. So like logistically, it was a big one to film.
And we shot most of it.
Downtown Toronto.
It was like 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, we filmed it like right by Roy Thompson Hall.
Wow.
Which is rare. Like you typically film in the studio or outside the zone, which is like Hamilton or out in Cambridge, which you film that. So it's nice when you can actually film in the city. And like the production value, you can't beat it. Just seeing the skyline in the background.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, one last thing I will ask is, if we have to say goodbye to Mr. Sean Rogerson, will you miss him on set? Do you have any parting words for him or for Alistair?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Sean, if anyone knew Sean, like he's the biggest sweetheart, and he plays this kind of unlikable guy that gets under your skin. And he's like a
so
great actor.
likable.
He killed it, but he's such a big softie. I get to see him. I live in Vancouver where he lives as well, so I see him often. But it's sad to see him leave. Like obviously his character needed to leave, but or does it?
And when I don't live near Sean. I live in LA, but he's such a likable guy, and I had so much fun working with him that I was actually at a stoplight, and a car was turning in, and I swear it was him in the car. So I was like waving at the guy, and the guy just looked at me, and I'm like, why would Sean look at me? So I texted him. He's like, I'm in Vancouver. So that's how much, like, if I really like an actor, I constantly think I'm around them or see them or want to be around them. And he's going to be a father.
Oh, really?
He just announced, so we're very excited
very
for
cool.
It's on the Twitter, so it's official.
Nice. It's not official till it's on Twitter, really.
Exactly.
On Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys very much. Can't wait to see the final episode, and best of luck.
Thanks very much, man.
Thank you.